Section 11.4.RA-1. A researcher wondered if attainment within 6 years among students who received grants as part of their educational funding, Group 1, was lower than attainment within 6 years among students who did not receive grants as part of their educational funding, Group 2. Attainment is defined as whether the student earned the degree or certificate that he/she set out to earn upon enrollment. We're going to complete parts A through C below. Now, is the response variable qualitative or quantitative? Well, the correct answer is qualitative because the response variable is whether the student attained his or her educational goals or not within 6 years. This is a qualitative variable with two possible outcomes. How many groups are being compared? Well, the groups being compared are the grant recipients and the students who do not receive grants, so therefore there's two. Now in part B, it says we learned that two groups, students who receive grants and students who do not receive grants, are being compared. In addition, the sampling method is independent. State the null and the alternative hypothesis for this test. Now, the researcher is looking for evidence to suggest the rate of students attaining their degree or certificate who receive grants, Group 1, is less than the rate of the students attaining their degree or certificate who do not receive grants in Group 2. To determine whether this is a test of population proportions, population means, or population mean differences. The null hypothesis is a statement of no change, no effect, or no difference, and is assumed true until the evidence indicates otherwise. The alternative hypothesis is a statement that the researcher is trying to find evidence to support. So, are we looking at population proportion, population means, or population mean differences? Well, in this case here, we're dealing with population proportions because we're looking for the proportion of how many students are in Group 1 and how many are in Group 2. So we would say that the null and the alternative is the following. Okay, we know that the null is always going to have the equality, so we're going to have proportion 1, which is going to equal proportion 2. Okay, and then we want to know if proportion 1 compared to proportion 2. Well, proportion 1 is Group 1, proportion 2 is Group 2. And we want to know if proportion 1 is going to be less than proportion